Hello, my name is Christina Febick. I'm the Metro Volleyball Rules Interpreter and head trainer for the Minnesota State High School League. This presentation will discuss the Minnesota Volleyball Rules modifications. Minnesota has rules modifications dealing with ball construction. We want to make it clear that for girls volleyball in Minnesota this season, we are still requiring an 18-panel smooth volleyball in light blue, gray, and white color scheme with the NFHS mark. Sub-varsity contest must use an 18-panel smooth ball. While the varsity ball is preferred, there are no color restrictions or mark requirements for sub-varsity contest. In the upcoming Spring 2026 Minnesota boys season, we will continue to use the textures red, white, and blue swirl pattern ball for all varsity contests. No NFHS mark will be required this season. While the varsity ball is preferred, there are no texture, color restriction, or mark requirements for sub-varsity contest. The next slides address editorial changes. Minnesota has a rules modification requiring line judges to switch sides. NFHS has given R1s the right to keep line judges on the same side throughout the match, even if teams are not switching sides. Minnesota will not be doing this. For all MSHSL varsity contests, teams will not be switching sides between sets. Line judges, however, will switch between each set. We recommend that this is also done during all sub-varsity contests. I will now discuss the 2025 NFHS points of emphasis. Minnesota has specific school color, light-dark jersey requirements. Minnesota State high school rules state that uniforms must be designed using school colors. The neutrals of white, gray, and black are allowed when needed to ensure each school can create a dark and light jersey. Special event uniform colors like pink are not allowed. NFHS volleyball rules require Libero jerseys to clearly contrast from the team jersey, and the body of the uniform number must clearly contrast from the uniform top. These rules are in place to assist volleyball officials in quickly identifying the Libero as well as player numbers. The Minnesota State High School League uniform guidance document that describes what color combinations clearly contrast has been published for multiple sports, including volleyball, football, basketball, softball, baseball, soccer, and lacrosse. We'll discuss the color chart from that document on the next page. The full document can be found on the Minnesota State High School League Central Hub in Arbiter. Minnesota State High School League has provided the following additional guidelines for uniforms. The colors in column A are considered dark. The colors in column B are considered light. When applying this guideline to volleyball, athletic directors and coaches must understand how this works. If your regular player uniform is from column A, the number on that uniform must be from column B, and the number cannot be from the same color family. For example, you could not put a light blue number on a royal blue or navy jersey. In the same manner, if a regular player is in the color from column A, the Libero jersey must be a color from column B. Black regular player jerseys and royal blue or red Libero jerseys are no longer allowed by the Minnesota State High School League. Like royal blue and red, Kelly green is a common school color. Medium greens have been deemed dark colors and fall into category A. Teams cannot use a dark or medium green Libero jersey and a black regular team uniform, and they cannot put a medium or dark green number on a black jersey. If a school has dark colored jerseys with dark numbers, they may be worn for sub-varsity contest, but are no longer legal for varsity contest. Although the body of these uniforms are light and dark, they are not compliant because it's too difficult for the referees to quickly see the difference during play when the players are intermixing on the court. Mirror image uniforms should be avoided. I will now discuss the 2025 NFHS points of emphasis. Minnesota has modifications with warning whistles during warm-ups and match interruptions. We continue to have reports of teams not immediately clearing the court at the end of their warm-up session, which results in a safety issue when one team is hitting or serving while the other is running on. In order to better facilitate this switch of possessions between the two teams, the R2 gives a double tweet warning whistle 15 seconds prior to the horn. This also gives teams the opportunity to shag balls as a show of sportsmanship during the last few seconds of their court time. This has been a Minnesota protocol for several seasons now. Please ensure you are following it. The second referee shall use a double whistle when 15 seconds are left on the timeout countdown clock and when 30 seconds are left between sets in order to warn teams that timeouts or intermissions are about to end and they need to return to the court. Timeouts and intermissions between sets should end with a horn. If a timeout ends early because both teams have returned to the court and coach instruction has finished, the R2 still needs to double whistle, then the scoreboard operator will immediately blow the horn while the official shows the number of timeouts remaining. The only time a horn might not be used to end a timeout or intermission is when multiple courts are going on in the same facility. In that case, a single long whistle can be used by the R2 to replace the horn. This helps avoid any confusion that might be caused by horns constantly going off or if a court is using a flip score and doesn't have a horn. Scorers across the state love teams who help facilitate accurate and efficient substitutions by keeping their numbers visible. During a substitution, coaches should train the outgoing player to stand closest to the net and the ingoing player to stand closest to the sideline. The play pick on the left illustrates how both players' numbers are easily visible to the score table and R2. The play pick on the right shows how the ingoing player screens the outgoing player's numbers from the table when the preferred technique is not used. Coaches, expect your athletes to do this correctly, especially the varsity team. While the officials will remind athletes to do this at the beginning of the season, please do not make this something the officials need to address. This change is being made to help school staff who are running your tables. Please be respectful of them and help make their job easier. Reports tell us they appreciate it. While Minnesota allows for decision reviews of incorrect rules or sanction applications, there is an initiation technique difference. In Minnesota, if a coach wants the officials to review a decision based on what they believe is an incorrect application of a rule or incorrect sanction applied, they do so by appealing to the R2 during the dead ball immediately following the decision. The coach should never cross the court to the R1 stand. The R2 will share the concern from the coach with the R1, and if the decision is not judgment related but is a rules question, the head coach will request and be granted a timeout to allow the R1 and R2 to go to the score table and find the rule reference. If you're looking for a rules refresher or are new to the game, you'll want to check out our annually updated rules review presentation. Another specific situation where it's often helpful to be in the R1's head is when the third ball is hit into the tape. So it's close to, but may or may not have been a touch. And the R1 really needs the R2's opinion on this. So as the R2, if you did not see the ball touched by the block, you would say no, no, no while showing a discrete for signal if the ball falls to the floor untouched by the attacking side. And this allows your partner to know that they're supposed to signal that the ball is down, so it's in. The other thing that could happen if it's not touched by the block is the partners could say no, no, and then four, because it usually takes about two no's getting out before the ball is actually touched by the attacking team if it was not touched by the block. And so by saying no, no, four, then your partner knows that they are going to actually signal a four as the fault. But they know there was no touch and they know that the signal should be four. And then if the ball is touched by the block, in this case, it's a positive, but it's a time when it's really a hectic situation. So we want to say touch, 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 and the R2 could nod yes, but there's no discrete signal to show touch because we want everybody to play on. While we've completed the rules update and points of emphasis for this season, it's imperative that officials take a moment to review all the rules of volleyball. It is the responsibility of each official to prepare by reviewing all the rules of the game prior to the season. Some do this by rereading the rules book and casebook. For those of you that are more auditory learners, we annually update the rules review module by adding any new rules to the presentation found on the Minnesota State High School League Central Hub in Arbiter. Please take the time to watch this too. Thanks for your
Thank you for your
time and
time and
attention.
attention during
Have a
this
great
module.
season.
We
I
hope you
look
enjoy
forward to
your
seeing
time
you
on the
on the
court.
court soon.
Minnesota Volleyball is truly incredible and perhaps the best high school volleyball program in the country. It is a great opportunity that we all have to be part of it. Have a great season.